knowing that the Raijin is an option and that SoaR wants to pull it out, might become a ban.
I wouldn't be too surprised, although I'd probably favor In Memory of Michael to maybe look to take it away for themselves. Either way, we'll get a chance to find out how exactly In Memory of Michael are planning to try and bring it back in game number 2.
Yeah, with picks and bans ready for us, we can see they're taking the first pick away. SoaR was able to get RDO because of that last time, and now the first thing they're going to get rid of immediately is going to be that Odin.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a potential RDO ban happening, although with In Memory of Michael having the first pick this time around, it's probably going to be coming from SoaR, if anything.
Yeah, the Thoth ban actually going to be coming out from In Memory of Michael. Didn't have as high an impact, I guess, that they wanted, but they still recognize the impact that Thoth can have.
They don't want to have to worry about SoaR potentially picking that god up in case they would have been leaning towards picking up the RDO, and with both of those gods being taken off the table, it does leave them with a couple of warriors, and Chulainn making his way.
Comes through. He was successful earlier on. He has a lot of fight to him, and if we're talking about the way that things have been going, we've seen a lot of solo lane aggression kind of giving the lead you need to win a game. Chulainn's one of the gods to do it.
And you gotta respect the Chulainn, because that flexible option that Michael have right now with the Chulainn as being a jungler or even a possible solo laner, either way, looks like StormyRays is looking to just try and run it back on the Osiris. It worked out pretty well. Relating, same mentality, picking up that Thor again.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. No reason to change it up at this point. They have the jungle, they have the solo. Same aggression that they can put out if they want to so far, but Terra finally making it through one of these games, going to be able to be picked up before the second ban phase so that she doesn't get eliminated from it. And In Memory of Michael, it looked like they really needed that from their support. The Geb just didn't quite do it for them.
What I really like about In Memory of Michael's draft this time is the Terra provides a little bit of global presence that can sort of compensate for that of SoaR's, because SoaR with the Thor, that's a semi-global ult presence. And then when you have the Terra's Blessing to keep in mind, it's not just going to be a freebie for Relating to go up into the air, drop down onto somebody, and then just wombo combo them to hell. The Terra at least will buy them a little bit of time, a little bit of movement speed, make things more difficult for SoaR to get these lockdown kill secures.
So far, though, running everything back that they can. The only difference is they definitely have to choose a new support, and depending on what we might see, if an Amu's and Cobb ban comes out, that is just going to be direct shots. There's no reason to ban him other than because Keegs just had such a wonderful performance.
I think there's plenty of reason to ban an AMC right now. Maybe not in the first 2 picks and bans, but I could certainly see him banned in a competitive level in the 3rd and 4th, and in fact, it will be the case. Memory of Michael not willing to let Keegs. He played a little bit of PvE in that last game where, he's focused on the objectives, but that's exactly what he needed to do. And with that AMC being taken away, he's not going to look for that aggressive route with the Hu Yi instead.
And being able to kind of take that one away, and we see Soul locked in. Still kind of a flex pick depending on what this last one's going to go through. Don't really need the flex at this point coming into it, but equal mid, equal ADC, and with the Cernunnos being locked in, it's still kind of the same scenario.
It could be a lane that goes potentially either way. I'd imagine that Cernunnos to be headed into the duo lane, such strong, clear potential alongside of that Terra, although not necessarily guaranteed that that Terra is going to be starting in the duo lane based off what we've seen so far with teams and their preferred methods to kick off the game.
Yeah, a lot of things can be changed up there going forward. Terra does have a lot of potential for some of that early game pressure as well. We see the Ganesha coming through, which is one that helps a lot with clear and helps a lot with control once his ult comes online.
Quite a few slows coming out from SoaR, although In Memory of Michael favoring the AoE presence just a little bit more. I'd probably have to give the upper hand in the early phases at least to In Memory of Michael's draft, just because AoE is usually going to be in your favor when you're looking for those early buff invades.
And they're going to be potentially looking to try and find that early aggression. I can already see on the right-hand side of the map, though, Osiris, Thor pushing up as far as they can, looking for maybe a fight early on, maybe Relating, trying to get that early kill like he had last game. We might get to see kind of a recap of what exactly happened for them. So they're looking for the fight. But I don't know if they're going to have as much success with this lineup.
Take a look, though, at Delny's active choice this time round. He actually went for the sprint as opposed to the shell, meaning that StormyRays, if he's trying to get that invade off, not going to be as successful.
That's going to be the big thing. Even with the horrific emblem, even if you're able to kind of go in, maybe, hey, I can slow you down. Sprint completely makes that negligible. So being able to go through and finally secure some of their own buffs, and with no early game kill right now, SoaR able to push up the lane, maybe deny some of those minions to the tower, but overall they're not going to find as big an early lead over there. Over on the duo side though, Keji forced to box out MedievalDoc, who did come in and take away the red buff.
That's got to be the worst feeling in the world right now for Keji, just watching a Ganesh not even use a hog, but steal it away with a standard ability. Unfortunate all around, and now he's trying to solo down this purple buff, get what XP he can to try and hit level 2 as soon as possible.
The Bumba is going to be playing a big role for him here just to get a little bit of healing, but he's still very low. In fact, he's actually forced to fall away there as the rest of the team is kind of coming to his rescue. But overall, the aggression from SoaR still kind of paying off, just in a different area of the map this time than last game. And they're slowly but surely starting to take up the farm that they need across the map. Oracle Harpies and now Mid Harpies going in their favor.
And looks like it's going to be the same thing as last time with Medieval on this Ganesh, trying to clear out that dual lane all by himself against Inbound and Keji. And again, he's just playing a support that can clear pretty efficiently on his own. Might miss out on a little bit of gold, won't miss out on any of the XP.
Now Delnyy and Jumper waiting in the jungle for some rotations to try and get some aggression down. Not working out the best for Delnyy right now as he's forced to pop his sprint and run away. Half health already, and on the other side, a lot of aggression coming down. Trying to get back that red buff, but it's not going to be looking too great for them as they're getting pushed back. Inbound actually half health, trying to run away, will successfully do so, but it looks like SoaR are going to be able to confirm their own buffs and keep themselves ahead in their jungle.
Inbound probably just a little bit happy right now to have gotten away with his life. Could have been a pretty tricky situation for a second there. Instead, he's going to be joining Crimson now in this mid lane, trying to see where exactly the next method of aggression can come from.
Now, Shaliber on this Raijin, something you had mentioned last game, and I think we're seeing a little bit here. Even with 2 members up against him in the lane, not too worried about his clear, still being able to kind of push back and keep at least a level mid lane instead of getting pushed back into his own tower.
Honestly, it's really just been a lot of pressure onto Keji so far from A Memory of Michael due to Medieval successfully stealing away that red buff. It's kept Keji a little bit further behind than what he would have wanted to be as far as experience is concerned. Just now hitting level 4, it's making a difference.
The big thing coming down for SoaR right now, since they don't have the same lead that they had in the last game, they are getting the pressure at least. They're trying to keep Memory of Michael pushed back the same way so that eventually they can start making their way, wriggling through the jungle, taking all of the buffs that they can. But it seems like Memory of Michael are kind of prepared for this.
And that seems to be the case, though. I mean, after you've seen how quickly things can fall apart in Game 1 from team pressure, and you immediately try to adapt to the situation, that's what goes to show the difference between probably your regular ranked or casual games and a competitive level of play.
And as you can see, small pause coming through. The team's just maybe taking the time to think about what they can do. SoaR is in a particular situation where they're coming off kind of the high of winning. They've like, we're in this. We have pretty much the same draft as we had. Some could argue maybe a little better, save for the RDO being gone, but Ganesh still going to be a good substitute for that. They want to know what can they do to move forward.
What I really like about the Ganesh pick as well for Medieval is just having those Dharmic Pillars is going to help out a little bit with trying to deal with a lot of that AoE presence that In Memory of Michael can have, since there's just so many circle abilities on their team. It's literally just massive areas that are being impacted by In Memory of Michael.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of AoE help. The question is Shaliber going to be able to do a repeat of what he did last game, use those ults to kind of help zone away Memory of Michael to keep his team in control? That's going to be the question for the first objective. As it stands right now, though, ErupT Crimson still stuck in this position where he kind of wants the help from Inbound to clear the wave, and StormyRays is going to be caught out in a rough position, half health with the ult coming through, actually going to go in Jumpa, looking for the last few autos it's going to take, and Delnyy going to be able to pick that one up.
Excellent execution by Jumpa right there, holding off his ultimate until he saw that StormyRays had expended the Allure of the Afterlife with nowhere left to go and getting automatically slowed. He tried to drop anything that he could, but it's just not enough damage to take out Jumpa or Delnyy.
The Oracle Harpy is going to go the way. Normally you see maybe a bigger rotation like that and you want your team to potentially swing for the Gold Fury, but at 4 minutes in, it's a little too risky, especially the minute Shaliber would leave lane, Crimson and Inbound would follow up. Little too risky call for SoaR, and losing that first blood already is going to be putting them in that position where they aren't going to be able to roll the way they did last game.
Tables have turned pretty heavily for Delnyy, I would say. Knowing that he's going to have the advantage now over StormyRays in this lane means that Delnyy can have a little bit more freedom as far as actually looking for buff invades himself. Last game, it was SoaR just constantly clearing out in memory of Michael's jungle. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Jumpa and Delnyy try to get off a couple invades of their own.
The big thing I'm thinking of is Keeg's impact for this one's going to be, I think, a little differently than the Amus and Cobb. He's not going to be able to focus as much on PvE, but he's still going to have a lot of aggression as a Hu Yi.
Sometimes you just got to farm it out, and Keegs, he's still getting excellent farm. He's still got the slight level lead over Keji, although granted, some of that is still due to that early invade by Medieval. That slight bit of buff presence control can actually make these little impacts that lead up to bigger things down the line.
It's always impressive what one small move can make at such a huge impact, especially that early on, although the huge impact right now, not that huge. It's 200 gold really separating the two teams, and a lot of that not meaning much when you split it across all 5 members. Levels are so far going to be in favor of SoaR, just a little bit ahead for KeegsMate, but the other members, especially in the support and in the mid, just kind of that little advantage.
As far as actual objective control is concerned, though, I'd imagine that both of these teams are really going to have to prioritize picks before all-inning or committing to those objectives. Neither side really having the advantage as far as the actual secure is concerned off of their mages.
At this point, 6 minutes in, we've seen SoaR kind of take a back road to what they were doing last game. And the same thing in memory of Michael. They recognize that they were able to finally take one, and they're not going to push themselves and try to find as many victories in the match. But they are starting to be able to farm up and take control of the camps that last game just were running rampant for SoaR.
Well, that was a huge issue for SoaR, but with that Terra's Blessing being popped, I mean, somebody's got to be in trouble, and sure enough, it was Crimson looking to get away. Inbound, still in danger. The ultimate going to miss from relating, but the double tap will not. Inbound going down.
Now Jumpa going to be possibly another target. Keji going to get silenced out. Berserker's Barrage coming through. The dash going to be good, but Shaliber following it up immediately. One more auto is all it takes, and Relating going to be able to get that one, trying to make up for that missed ultimate, and now coming back in Jumpa and Crimson looking to get a little bit of damage. Crimson, or Jumpa here, very low, very close, but he's still able to make it out because of those double dashes.
Crimson just so close to catching Relating, trying to get him with that knockup before he could use that Thor hammer to get away, but unfortunately enough for memory of Michael, that'll be 2 kills unresponded to by SoaR. So immediately SoaR just taking that small opportunity to completely amp up the pace of the game.
And originally I kind of wanted to harp into Relating because missing that ult, especially how many times, it's not a lot, but just I think a few times in these last few games has had a kind of a negative impact for his team, even though they were able to win the last one and even though they came out of that team fight on top. It's not necessarily a good look for you, not a good look for StormyRays right now. Forced to ult away, MedievalDoc doing whatever he can to control it. It looks like Memory of Michael are hungry. The juke shoe's just a little too strong, though, for MedievalDoc. He's going to be able to live with barely any health.
Okay, Delnyy, there's no way he doesn't hate himself right now for not pursuing that one, or more particularly hating his cooldowns, because I doubt he had anything up and left to try and take that MedievalDoc kill. Relating, going to be able to jump away from danger as well, thanks to his hammer. Again, SoaR just getting out.
The big thing that I'm realizing for SoaR is that while Relating is behind, technically, he's still having the impact that you would want a Thor to have. He's still getting the damage down, and while his ult hasn't necessarily been a tide turner, it has just been enough to cause pressure. It's causing scare in memory of Michael. They don't want to get too far up. They don't want to get caught out of position.
Hey, sometimes I got to give him the benefit of the doubt sometimes. I know that those analog sticks can be a little bit more complicated than what you'd want them to at times. And Relating, I do agree he needs to clean up a little bit, but all around still making the plays that matter. And speaking of which, actually going in right now onto Delnyy, despite being Thor, or Nemesis ulted, excuse me, and now he's actually up in the air, probably still looking to aggress onto Delnyy.
Yeah, at this point could come crashing down under the tower. Looks like he is going to opt to fall back. Delnyy going to get a little bit of tankiness coming forward. Still low, but just too much of a risk to go under that tier 1 this early on. And with that, you can just back Relating. Recognizes he used his ult, recognizing he's not going to get anything from it. Might as well go ahead, spend a little bit of gold and heal back up, and then come and impact another fight.
Great counter engage, though, by in memory of Michael. Inbound, hearing the call out from his team that they need help in solo, and that's the beauty of having that Terra's Blessing. It just completely deterred Relating. I think that normally Relating would have probably looked for that kill. Delnyy didn't have that shield up available just yet from his own ability on the Chulainn, so that could have easily gone in favor of SoaR.
I feel like every time we've left the duo lane this game, we come back and KeegsMate is just a little bit bigger each time. Now 2 levels ahead and still looking pretty deadly, and Huyi in the jungle can hit you very hard.
And already SoaR Gaming again trying to do what they did all of last game, and that's invade the buffs of a memory of Michael. Keji making his way over, but he's only level 11, and it's going to be Crimson actually getting blown up before anything else can happen.
ErupT trying to get some of the damage and trying to keep himself alive. Jumpa going to get eliminated out there. Keji doing his best, but the beads are forced. The suns are dropped. He gets some biggies out there, but it's not going to be enough to save his life. Keegs going to be able to pick that one up. 3 more kills going onto the side of SoaR, and uncontested once again.
Just the instant collapse of that draft from memory of Michael. Once one member goes down, especially it being Crimson just trying to get into that disapparate form, unable to buy himself enough time to do so, and ErupT using that Thor ultimate just to make sure nobody's in the area for the potential to steal.
Yeah, this one, it's going to be completely fine for that to not land on anybody, just because that was the, oh, we don't have enough ward coverage to catch out if someone's going to come steal this. Let's go ahead and make you a living sentry, come down, be able to save us if things go awry. But as it stands, that's going to be unanswered for them, and they're going to be able to now, SoaR, take back the gold lead.
And again, the experience lead starting to trail off into SoaR's favor. One more time, this is going to be a pretty difficult one, I think, for Memory of Michael to start trying to bounce back from. They were probably favored a little bit more in that early game stage, and their draft is still very potent, having that Nemesis. It's just Jumpa's been having a pretty difficult time, considering that every single fight, it's almost always been in Memory of Michael with at least one member down.
Now, relating, at this point looking to just defend his own jungle. Jumpa doing his best to try and salvage the aggression coming out from SoaR. When you've lost 4 or 5 kills now in a row without being able to retaliate anything, and honestly, as a Nemesis, not having the same impact you would really want, you start to feel, not necessarily tilt, but you start to feel the pressure on you. You want to perform a little bit better, so I think possibly getting a little over-aggressive.
Once some secondary actives start coming through from a memory of Michael, we might see a little bit more survivability as far as the carries are concerned, particularly for Crimson. He just needs to stay alive as long as possible in these engagements, building up that heat so that way he can actually deal out the damage that his team seems to be missing off of these Nemults.
Yeah, not being able to get a lot off of that. Jumpa, he's used it each time, but mostly for the slow, not as much for the protection shred. So I'm wondering if maybe they're hoping that TheMedievalDoc can get as aggressive as he was in the last game. But as it stands right now, StormyRays is getting aggressed on, not having the best lane side so far he's had from Delnyy, who's going to continue getting aggressive, not going to be able to stop the back.
Able to juke out that hammer wall stun from ErupT, and that's still a pretty big win for Memory of Michael, forcing out StormyRays when he doesn't have a teleport to come back to the lane. This could be a potential play for a Memory of Michael. Unfortunately, just nobody grouped up to really look to try and siege a Portal Demon or anything.
And that's going to be the big thing. I feel like it's a lot of missed opportunities for IMOM here, just not in the right place when they need to be. They kind of are, they're floating around, but they haven't been able to apply that pressure. And now that Portal Demon, instead of being able to kind of make the play for Memory of Michael, looks like SoaR, they were around. They might have started it up, but they're going to end up falling back. Just still a little bit too much risk around that one.
It's certainly in the back of their mind. Speaking of which, Inbound actually taking a huge chunk of damage, and the silence out from Medieval might be enough to get him cleaned up by Shallow, but sure enough, Taiko Drum's going to take him out.
Now Crimson going to be blocked off. Jumpa coming through as well, going to be able to at least trade that one out and grab a mid laner. Going to be a big pickup for in Memory of Michael, and TheMedievalDoc doing whatever he can to try and save his jungler. But now the Suns are here, the Suns are down, and the kill is good. KeegsMate going to be able to take down Crimson. Jumpa looking to try and find anything to rectify this fight. They were only able to get 1 kill, but overall they're still going to end up dropping 2.
Keji at least able to force out the actives from Relating, so there is that small little victory within all of that. But in Memory of Michael, they've got to be careful. That Portal Demon's still on the map, and I don't feel as though they think that they're confident enough or they're big enough to secure this one and get away with it.
And I feel like they might wait on SoaR, maybe for those Suns to come back up, just to keep a little bit of patience going forward, but it gives time for a Memory of Michael to try and figure out what they need to do. At this point, it's the same kind of scenario, but not as bad for them. They have a little bit of time to figure out what has been going wrong in these team fights and fix their team fights up, just because when it comes down to it, they've been kind of going in one by one instead of fighting together.
Keegs has just had great rotations as well in both of these games so far. It's Also, Jumpa just getting completely shut down by Medieval. Nowhere left to go. Relating's going to get credit for that kill off the Dharmic Pillars. Delnyy now trying to get away, but there's 4 members of SoaR chasing after him.
Now the knockup's a little good to deter the fight, but he's still getting aggressed on. The stun going to be good. The Thorns coming out to try and get some of that damage away, but at that point, everyone just says, okay, your mid laner's over here. Might as well go for the kill there. Now Inbound has come in, Relating up in the sky. Gonna go a little bit too far for that one. Not gonna find the stun. Still gonna find some of the damage, but he is low himself. Medieval in the same kind of scenario, even as a tank, looking to have to fall back just because of this tower.
Down the end, Inbound just a little bit too tanky for SoaR Gaming to find the kills on, but still a massive victory since they were able to clean up Crimson, who was just trying to come to their assistance, and he wasn't even that far out of line. He just got immediately turned on by Shaliber, seeing him out of the corner right there, and just no chance for Crimson to survive that one.
Now, in memory of Michael, still putting on a performance that's much better than they were last time, but it's starting to slip away from them. They had a lead early on. They were kind of being able to push it, but they didn't get the pressure where they needed it. Now they're 4,000 gold behind. Where do you think the next play is for them?
It's not so much the gold lead that I'm concerned about, considering that it's only a few more minutes until the 20-minute mark. It's mostly just the experience differences, and for in memory of Michael, they really just can't allow SoaR Gaming to keep taking objectives for free or to keep having so much map control. But the reality of it is KeegsMate is just so farmed and such a problem. His rotations were just way too successful early on, and now because of that, SoaR are just able to kind of siege control of this game.
Yeah, at this point, pretty similar to last game. It's not the Amus and Cobb, but KeegsMate still having the same impact, keeping himself alive and healthy and ahead. The Portal Demon going to be started up by, in memory of Michael Shaliber, over the corner, and StormyRays going to be able to spot this one out. Relating coming down, crashing, and trying to find the damage through. They're going to go forward, but now they're a pig, and Stormy doing his best to run away. 1 health is all he is, and he's going to be the first to fall. Right there's the win, the fight they needed, but Jumpa getting caught out, controlled, and knocked up. He's not going to be able to make it out of this one alive. Inbound doing his best. Delnyy going to be able to help trade that one out, but Shaliber just over the wall, just enough, and just a fast enough time that he's going to be able to stay alive, but that was the fight they needed.
Oh, but here comes the rotation from KeegsMate, actually trying to find Delnyy, who's trapped inside that pocket there with MedievalDoc. The root is going to come through. Actually, a massive root from Inbound, forcing out Keegs' active, but the bounce is actually going to take out Inbound for being just slightly against the wall.
Now 1 hit away is Medieval. Imam able to turn that around. It's not the cleanest fight they've ever had, but they get the advantage off of it. Keegs barely, like his dying breath is going to be a great bounce that makes it so it's like, yes, we're going to lose this fight, but it's not going to be as hefty as it could have been.
Keegs dies though, and immediately, in memory of Michael, don't waste any more time. Just take that Portal Demon as fast as possible. They do still have some shred potential because it is a Soul and a Cernunnos. They have plenty of objective damage with those 2 carries alone.
And with the way things are going for them, this gives them, memory of Michael, the ability to start pushing down maybe some towers if they can find the fight. And it looks like they're going to be going for it. Relating did go up into the sky and come crashing down on the right-hand side. They're looking for the fight, but so far no one is low enough to die. Relating going to be the one closest, but he's looking like with a nice wall, should be able to make it out. Jumpa gets taken down. Medieval going to be going above and beyond his passive and finally getting credit for a kill. And with Shaliber trying to set this up for the next one, Delnyy might be the next target.
Crimson, though, starting to make the rotation, and 3 members from SoaR actually incredibly low right now. They're going to have to back. I can't imagine SoaR trying to stick around with the possibility of Crimson's rotation. Keegs, though, same mentality in mind, not really trying to leave his team out in the open here, as Delnyy once more put in the power, the smackdown, really, onto StormyRays.
Being able to play this Chulainn pretty much the way you'd want to be playing Chulainn at this point. He's 2-0-2, he's had his aggression, and he is running just rampant enough that he's not out of control, but he is definitely difficult to deal with and doing exactly what you need your frontline warrior to do.
Well, considering that in memory of Michael's entire team has been pretty far behind for most of this game, you actually got Delnyy with a 3-level lead over StormyRays, whose team has been ahead.
All across the board, it's going to be traded out. He has a 3-level advantage there. In the dual lane, we see Keegs with a 3-level advantage there. which is where this experience kind of come to a wash. Kind of Delnyy versus Keegs in the long run, but Keji is going to be the main target. A little off the mark once again is relating, but he's in the backline. The bead's going to be forced. Keji running away. Age is going to be used as well, and that's going to be both relics. At that point, that's going to be a big win, even if they can't get the kill, but now relating is slowed. Aegis himself, well, he should be safe just because he has the shield that is KeegsMate.
But now relating, he's got to be really careful here because there is definitely a lot of opportunities now for whenever Jumpa's ult is back off cooldown to just immediately try and all in him. He'll probably die pretty quickly. Looking at his build, not a whole lot of protection, just a slight amount from Shifter Shield.
Now the positioning coming out from SoaR, they're getting aggressive on the left-hand side, looking to take a tower. Inbound, trying to do whatever he can, but he's just a lonely Terra at this point, not going to be able to have enough to turn that one around. And even with his team rotating over, it's not going to be enough to kind of get the aggression down. Gold Fury going to be coming up in about a minute. It's going to be open for both teams, potentially, but it really does kind of depend on how In Memory of Michael play that minute.
The worst part for In Memory of Michael so far this game, at least in my personal opinion, has been Jumpa and the Ganesh silences. Every single time, Jumpa should be getting at least a little bit of a health regen off of that shield. His timing has been impeccable. It's just that Medievals has been even better, immediately placing his silence straight onto the Nemesis, taking away that shield. It's just so difficult as a Nemesis to keep going in when your possibility to get a little bit of health regen while aggressing is removed.
And that's been kind of the just key play for SoaR at this point. Early on, Shalaber wasn't necessarily having a rough time, but anytime someone tried to fight him, Medieval was just kind of like, okay, you rushed right into it, now you can't use any abilities. I'm going to keep you zoned just enough that mid laner isn't going to have to worry about you. And while we don't see Shalaber with a lead, we do see him still having the same impact that he was able to have last game because of this ult.
This could be problematic for In Memory of Michael. This Gold Fury is just getting absolutely blown away by Keegs and the Dharmic Pillars alongside of Shalaber. And the ultimate has been dropped. They're looking to find Inbound, actually trapped in between a rock and a hard place. Ultimate coming through from Shalaber, but Inbound just juking out everybody. Can't get away from the Raijin, though.
Close, but not enough, and now it's coming down to whether or not StormyRays wants to continue some aggression. Up into the sky goes Relating, looking potentially to pick someone off. Again, off the mark, not going to be able to find the stun afterward either. Crimson going to be safe either way. Now with 4 members still standing for IMOM, looks like they're doing just enough to deter any pressure that might come down the mid lane towers. That still opens up the Portal Demon that's about to respawn, and the Fire Giant Pit, which could potentially just be some bait.
Just the sheer damage output right now from Keegs, every single time he's on the map, it's just something to be concerned about. In Memory of Michael really don't have a whole lot of playroom here because of how just efficient Keegs has been at getting his poke out.
So we're seeing a few things. We've seen a lot of Gladiator Shield picked up. What do you think about this Shifter Shield that Relating has picked up?
The Shifters is a pretty common item, although it's fallen slightly out of grace ever since the nerf it received towards its magical protections. It's still fairly strong against physical gods, and against the Cernunnos especially, you can always have a little bit of value. Plus there's the Nemesis and the Chulainn to worry about. All 3 of those gods able to exert quite a decent amount of physical damage.
With the way things are going, Portal Demon, a couple of health left, and KeegsMate looking to try and pick that one up, no problem for his team. It is going to be grabbed by them. SoaR confirming that one, and now Delnyy going to be in a bad position. The Suns are dropped, a lot of damage getting dealt down. The solo laner falls, and Shalaber looking to try and keep the control his team needs, running away at the same time. One more hit is all it takes, but Jumpa not able to find it just yet. Going to grab it, and the damage is being thrown into him, but he's going to be fast. He does have his double dash coming up. Crimson, though, makes the wrong turn into the wrong neighborhood, and while Keegs is low, it doesn't look like he'll fall. Keji in the next line on the chopping block. The ult coming down from StormyRays. All 3 members of SoaR just looking to collapse in on him and be able to pick that one up. Keegs traded out. Jumpa having a lot of worth in this game, being able to pick up the 2 kills his team has found, but looking like he's going to end up falling down because of it as well. Just staying a little bit too long, and ultimately it will be a deicide. All they need to do is find one more hit. The dashes might be good enough, and Jumpa makes it out alive.
Not even the Mystical Male could find the last little tick of health that was required to take out Jumpa. Relating, though, trying to make sure that he's not going for that lazy back and just coming back through that portal, pushing the advantage once more for SoaR. But either way, Jumpa came up pretty huge in that last engagement, able to find the kills onto Shalaber and KeegsMate, which ultimately ensured that SoaR Gaming weren't going to be looking for this Fire Giant, at least not until their Hunter respawns.
And with that, it's going to at least keep his team in the match right now and keep his towers alive, I think is the big one. With only 3 left standing, and that tier 2 almost pushed down just by relating. They're feeling the pressure put down on the right-hand side. And with the way the buffs have been going, the way that the camps and the farm has been going, SoaR are looking to try and continue and find their aggression. Still haven't amassed the same lead they had, but still about 7,000, 8,000 gold hovering around. Keeping control.
Crimson, though, finally starting to get a little bit of damage online. It's mostly just about trying to survive for a memory of Michael. Even with as much peel potential as they have, it's just been really difficult trying to escape from SoaR Gaming, and that's just largely credited to how much AoE presence SoaR has.
SoaR looking over on the right-hand side. I was wondering what they were trying to figure out, if they wanted to go for the Fire Giant or not. It were looking like they were grouping up for a Portal Demon, but they already have the Portal Demon, so they're just kind of hanging out in the Fire Pit over there. But they still have the pressure, and I think maybe kind of keeping an eye on where they see Memory of Michael, who at this point hasn't really been able to find any of the pressure in that pit at all.
Well, all of the lanes right now are at least pushed up in SoaR Gaming's favor, so with that in mind, it's going to make it a little bit easier for SoaR to aggress onto that Fire Giant. Even though a regular wave of creeps doesn't really do too much against your towers if they're left unattended, it's still problematic because that just means that SoaR is going to have a significant advantage if they're able to secure that Fire Giant as far as sieging immediately after is concerned.
MedievalDoc is just kind of being the front line your team needs. He's constantly looking for some aggression, the same kind of play we saw out of him last game. Not going to have the same impact as the Artio did. He can't just run into everyone and hope for the best. He has to wait for some follow-up from his team. But at this point, he's zoning perfectly fine.
I don't know. He seems to be doing a pretty good job at just running into everybody. 1-0-16, literally a part of every single kill that SoaR Gaming has put up on the board.
Being able to find one for himself as well. That's the big one. He overcame his passive, and his teammates, I guess, just not following up as far as he would like. So his aggression pays off. The Gold Fury looking to be started up, half health. Jumpa waiting in the wings, looking for a kill, potentially on the KeegsMate, going for the damage, but not able to find anything. Terra going to get the root, going forward, but the stun coming down, relating up in the sky. Shaliber, though, erased off the board. Keegs going to be the target for Jumpa. He's still trying to get in there. StormyRays doing his best to try and protect his ADC, but it's not going to be enough to get the kill. Now, while Delnyy may or may not end up trading out here, it's going to be worthwhile because they get the 2 big carries on the side of SoaR. The solo laner looking to get taken down on the side of Imom. They're going to be able to get that kill for Relating, who's also getting very low at this point. No escape to his name except for his hammer over the wall is going to be enough. The Bluestone, the damage all ticking down, trying to get whatever kills they can, but StormyRay, MedievalDoc both very low, going to end up trading out. This is the fight Imom needed to continue their aggression, maybe potentially push this into the tier 2. MedievalDoc doesn't have enough to do.
MedievalDoc can't defend this at all, and in fact, it is going to be entirely in Memory of Michael's favor. Relating, though, did get a chance to back to the fountain, actually getting trapped inside of his own wall, unlike Crimson, and now having to use his hammer toss once more to get over that wall and away from the Memory of Michael.
While he is 8-1-7, he managed to live through there. The big thing in that last fight, Keegs, Shaliber. Imom showing exactly who they want to target.
Crimson was able to immediately wipe out Shaliber with that Supernova and probably a Stellar Burst combination as well. And with all of that damage coming through, nobody was really paying attention to Keegs on the backside. They'd initially looked to peel him out, popped a sprint to try and get him away, but Inbound able to make him waste a little bit of time. Catching him in the root was the most important part.
Respawn's coming up. Portal Demon, Fire Giant, both available. SoaR making the rotation over here. Having just lost that fight, they're going to be a little bit more cautious about going in for their aggression. But we see Relating still kind of showing what he wants to do. That double tap coming down onto Jumpa. Nothing to heal off of, nothing to really get him back to full health. But he's still Nemesis, still has the shield, still has the ability to impact this fight.
And of course, SoaR not really looking to... Even though Michael was able to win that one fight, SoaR is still more than up and trying to aggress. Inbound, speaking of which, already popping the Terra's Blessing. Darmy Pillars are out and about, as well as the Wild Hunt, but StormyRays, actually, it's going to be Delnyy left all alone in the backside.
Shaliber going to be taken down by Jumpa, though, looking to try and repeat what he did for his team last time, going up against MedievalDoc. Going to use that ult to shred those protections, go for the fight. All he needs is a few more autos to make this Ganesha finally fall once. Relating taken down the board. Jumpa going to fall. KeegsMate still alive is the big damage coming down for SoaR. And he does not have the Suns anymore, but he can still hit out, but that's not going to last that long as Crimson gets the kill there. Now Stormy and Medieval, last two remaining, both too low to do anything, and that Fire Giant's looking very, very appetizing for IMOM.
There's already 3 members dead for SoaR, and with it only being StormyRays and Medieval to try and contest, there's just no way that they'll be able to make it back in time to prevent this Fire Giant from going down. Unfortunately, Jumpa was a casualty of war for in memory of Michael, so he won't have that Fire Giant buff around him, but with 4 of his teammates acquiring it, still a good look all around.
Now 13 kills to 19. What was a almost unsurmountable number earlier on, in memory of Michael being able to bring themselves back up and find the kills they need. Jumpa making the sacrifice his team has always needed. He's going immediately into the backline and going for Shaliber, looking to try and get KeegsMate. Even though he's trading his life out for it, it's so far been worthwhile for his team.
The main improvement here for in memory of Michael is the way that they have been spreading SoaR Gaming in these team fights, not allowing Shaliber or KeegsMate to ever be grouped together, making it incredibly difficult for SoaR to try and peel for their carries. That's why we keep seeing at least one fall, and then as soon as one goes down, you know the other's coming right after.
We see some happy jumps coming out from in memory of Michael here. At this point, they're feeling a little bit of that pressure that they had earlier on relieved. They have now taken the gold lead, they have now taken the Fire Giant, and they're looking to potentially continue taking some of these objectives. Tier 2 towers still remaining on this left-hand side. Gold Fury looking to spawn back in about a minute, so if they really want to roll back, they might be able to grab that one as well. The tower is going to be the main control. Want to weaken that Titan health just a little bit more so they have more pressure and more ability to kind of go in and win this fight.
Anytime a T1 tower is still on the map, you just know that's going to be the first lane pushed down, and for good reason as well. This is also left-hand side, furthest side away from the Fire Giant pit. That's exactly why we see the grouping from memory of Michael and the lane push, but that mid wave being pushed up as well is also going to work against SoaR, because that means that if memory of Michael wanted to do so, they could try and split the pressure on the map.
Yeah, the most worthwhile Phoenix has always been noted. It's the left-hand Phoenix, the one furthest away from the Fire Giant, just because you get that little extra pressure from the Fire minions. Not going to be able to go that far with it just yet, though. Being able to clear out all of the towers, though, for SoaR, while keeping all 3 of theirs still alive for the past, like, 10 minutes at this point. Memory of Michael have effectively turned this game on its head. They aren't in the point where they're running rampant, but they've pretty much showed SoaR that they are not just going to lay down and take it.
No, they're not in the slightest, and Jumpa actually has made leaps and bounds of improvements as far as his positioning is concerned. At first getting caught up quite a lot, has found a way to finally work his way into the backside, and him successfully cleaning up Keegs or putting so much pressure onto Shaliber and Keegs that they're panic Aegising, panic beadsing. That's exactly what you want your Nemesis to do. Now,
buffs spawning in the jungle. At this point, they're not going to give a lot, but it's still nice to have a speed buff or a blue buff around your belt, especially for longevity in these fights. With the Fire Giant around them, they don't seem too worried on the side of in memory of Michael. They want this Phoenix, and they're going to be going in for the damage they can find it. But all their carries are kind of holding back, not getting the pressure they need. This is going to be the tower pushing squad, and when they're not there, they're not going to be able to push anything. StormyRays is getting low, and it's not going to be enough to find the kill. Actually getting pushed back away from the Phoenix, and here comes Relating to come crashing down. Medieval doing whatever he can to try and keep his team alive. Relating very low, but the wall's going to be good enough, but the ult is going to be better. SoaR going to be able to confirm that one. The Phoenix still the primary target here, and that's going to be exactly what IMOM come away with.
And just check out Jumpa, super harassing Shaliber, not allowing him to get anywhere near. Delnyy will finally fall. He was spent so much time taking up that left-hand Phoenix, and now it's finally, in memory of Michael's time, to really turn this game around, and they already have. I mean, this is looking or shaping up to be a split for in memory of Michael.
Yeah, bouncing pretty much back and forth. But with SoaR in the position they are, one Phoenix down, they could still potentially find a team fight as long as they take it in their base, depending on where they want to go with it. But buffs being up, they're going to come through, swing by, grab everything they possibly can, extend their lead, take everything so SoaR can't find their way back into it.
That fight broke out so well for Michael, though, because SoaR invested a lot into Delnyy, trying to kill him while he was tanking underneath that left-hand Phoenix. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to find the damage to ultimately secure him until much later on, and by then, the Phoenix was already destroyed because it's a Soul and a Cernunnos at level 20.
Now, Portal Demon, Fire Giant, both about to come back up, one before the other, and a lot open for in memory of Michael. Depending on where SoaR and KeegsMate are in this fight, I think is what can turn the tide for SoaR. Crimson getting taken down very early on, half health, forced to fall back immediately, but now it's looking like the same thing's going to be said for Jumpa. That shield doing what he can. He wants to get SoaR, and SoaR's going to turn it right back onto him. The stun's going to be good, but no one is able to eliminate him. SoaR are coming into this fight. They know that Jumpa's been the problem. They're going for Keji. They're going for Crimson. They're trying to get rid of these carries. They're going to be able to find one. They're looking for the other in the back. So far, not able to find the kill just yet because of the safety that is SoaR. And it looks like In Memory of Michael are going to fall back, losing 2 members for none and leaving that fire pit completely open.
And just like that, In Memory of Michael, once more, have to wait it out. But this actually gives SoaR a great opportunity to secure that Portal Demon if they wanted to, and maybe even look for the Fire Giant shortly after. Jumpa and Keji are going to be out for a significant amount of time, and even when Jumpa spawns, it's still going to give plenty of time for SoaR to disengage before he can try and factor in his ultimate to the fight.
Delnyy, Crimson, Inbound, all hanging around this Portal Demon, making sure that if it does get started, they will not let it get too low without being able to contest it, but the return damage coming down. Medieval doing exactly what he needs to zone. The Dharmic Pillars coming down to get the slow onto Crimson. Not going to be able to find the kill, but they are going to be able to force out the mid laner. And right now, In Memory of Michael, are slowly but surely starting to fall behind. They aren't able to abuse this lead they have because of that last fight, and the Portal Demon goes the way of SoaR.
In Memory of Michael trying to be careful right now, really making sure that they're not filtering in one by one to that Fire Giant pit, but Crimson knows he's got to try and get in there, just nothing he can do. That Fire Giant's already falling so low for SoaR. 50% health right now. Delnyy in the midst of it all, trying to come away with a kill or two. Instead, it's going to be Delnyy successfully fending off that Fire Giant. Relating and Keegs, along with SoaR, all had to back to base.
Yeah, 3 low health bars on the side of SoaR, looking to be joining them. Stormy falling behind, Medieval getting low, but the Portal Demon, once taken, they're going to be able to drop right back in. Keji, though, going to be able to pick up Relating. Medieval going to get taken off the board as well. SoaR, KeegsMate, both running away because they recognize they are their team's last hope to defend. The Fire Giant looking to get started up here, and a lot of damage on the side of In Memory of Michael to continue and find this one no problem. Potentially push down these Phoenixes. It is about one really good team fight away from Memory of Michael being able to close this game out, but SoaR are reminding them that they are here constantly and making sure that they know that you can't just knock on their door and run away. You have to put up the fight. Fire Giant, though, looking like it should be a clean pickup.
SoaR gotta back off, though, keeping in mind that that left-hand Phoenix is due to respawn, and that was the perfect time for In Memory of Michael to look for the full commit onto the Fire Giant. Now immediately barreling down this right-hand side just because it's the closest they can get to putting as much pressure as possible onto SoaR's base before they can get that Phoenix up and running.
Now the right-hand Phoenix is going to be the target. StormyRays doing the best he can to try and zone, but it's not doing so much for his health bar. He's going to get eliminated. Jumpa credit for that kill. The Phoenix soon to fall afterward. The left-hand side did respawn, but now we have minions pouring into the Chaos Titan, taking a little bit of damage there and opening the doors for Memory of Michael. Mid-Phoenix going to be the next drop. Delnyy going to get caught out. A lot of damage from the Suns being dropped onto him. The same with Inbound, and it looks like SoaR trying to turn this game around for his team, but so far, no luck. The Ages, the Beads, all being a little bit too good on the side of In Memory of Michael to keep them alive, and Inbound perfectly being the distraction he needs. Keji going to be able to find the turnaround and get KeegsMate off the board for another 60 seconds.
Oh, sorry, but that is absolutely hilarious, just watching a Terra pull out the greatest jukes of 2017, running around that backside. Nobody from SoaR being able to take out Inbound, just being such a nuisance back there. Found the route onto SoaR, and now with the right-hand Phoenix missing, mid-Phoenix is looking like the next target. That upgraded sprint as well just absolutely did work for In Memory of Michael.
And keeping SoaR distracted, the left-hand Phoenix was just taken down by the Fire Minions. Relating taken off the board, Titan exposed, 3 Phoenixes down, and with the Fire Giant around their belt, In Memory of Michael looking to turn this one around, make it a split, and come out on top from behind, able to pull that away from SoaR, who looked like they had victory in their grasp.
It looked like it was about to completely 180 for In Memory of Michael in that one and go back into SoaR's favor, but no, not this time. Memory of Michael managed to find the team fighting potential that they had the whole time and bring it together, close that one out.
And that just goes, I mean, it looked rough at that point. But when it came down to it, the one thing that kind of turned it around was Jumpa. He was going into the backline, he was taking care of KeegsMate, and he was taking care of Challenger. And as we can see, like right here, his positioning early on, not the best. But as the game went on, he decided exactly where he needed to be.
Jumpa completely popped off on this Nemesis and came up massive for In Memory of Michael. Had it not been for all of those Nemesis ultimates and the slice and dices, finding the slows, finding the kill secures, that's exactly what you need out of a Nemesis. If he was unable to force as many actives as he managed to, this could have been an entirely different game for In Memory of Michael.
Playing the way you typically see a warrior. He's just being a nuisance. He's coming in, he's beating you up. He's not going to be the one who's going to full out kill you, but he's going to force you to make these decisions you don't really want to.
And of course, it's just really well played all around by Memory of Michael, making sure to bounce back from that last game performance and really clean it up together as a team. I'd say they were so much more efficient at bringing their gameplay together. And I think that all around, it wasn't just Jumpa making the plays either. Delnyy was also assisting him pretty heavily at the start.
Yeah, being able to come in. And I think it's really just what we've seen today with the Chulainn. He had a lot of aggression. He was able to kind of put himself up there and be able to knock down StormyRays. He kept control of that solo lane and thus kept SoaR from getting in their jungle.
He wasn't about that first game where StormyRays had the full-on advantage when he was playing Bologna, so he matched aggression with aggression and looked for the early game strat with the Chulainn, and it paid off pretty heavily. The amount of times that I watched Delnyy completely chase down Keegs, that has to be one of the most frustrating aspects for a hunter to have to try and play against.
And it was some of those plays where he's not necessarily the one getting the kills, but he's still there, a part of it. He's still helping it. The knockups, all of the control he was kind of providing, really just making the big difference for his team. But that's going to be that game. We still have 2 more sets to cover for the rest of the day, so we're going to go to a short break and bring you those very shortly.
Since I left, you stood the test of time like the